This episode of Beyond the Closing is brought to you by First United Land Transfer.
Hi everyone, this is Lizzie from First United Land Transfer coming to you with another episode of Beyond the Closing with Barrington Virgo from Real Brokerage.
You got it.
And we're just going to hang out today. So thank you so much for joining me and coming to chill. And I'm sure I'm taking you away from the nice weather outside, but I appreciate you stopping in and everything. So thank you again for that. So yeah, I guess let's just start off with tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, tell me something that makes you you.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. You know, as many closings as I get.
Yes.
I always try to give you guys my buyers. So I appreciate everything that you guys do. Been
Absolutely,
working with you guys
thank you.
For going on 7 years now. So
Wow,
cool.
okay.
Yeah,
so you've had
really
cookies
good.
for 7
Yeah,
years is what you're
cookies
saying. Okay.
for 7 years. I love a good cookie.
Yeah, no, we were just talking about that. Yeah, for sure. You definitely can't go wrong there or anything, especially with our chocolate ones that you like.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Those are the best.
Sounds good. So so you've been working with us for 7 years. So have you been an agent for 7 years then? How long have you?
So technically it's 6 years and 10 months. It'd be August 4th.
Okay.
When I picked up my license from Harrisburg, PA.
Okay.
So I'm close. So
Yeah,
I'm
no,
really
that's
close.
a long time.
Yeah, but it's been a great ride. I started in ironically, the restaurant industry.
Okay,
So,
no, I did too. So that's awesome.
Yeah, so I started off my very first restaurant job was at Top Diner in Allentown.
Okay.
And then I transitioned to Whitehall Diner in Whitehall.
Uh-huh.
So while I was there, someone actually approached me and asked me if I ever thought about real estate. And I kind of brushed it off. Like, I was in college. I think I was
Sure.
20 at the time. Like, the last thing I thought of was real estate.
Yeah.
And then I think I started taking my classes like 2 months later.
After
So,
somebody just randomly like brought it up to you and everything.
Yeah, so 2 months later, took the classes. I passed on my third try. I actually failed the exam twice, and then the third time I passed. Like
It's hard. I've done the exam. It is hard.
Yeah.
So I get it for sure. So no worries there. But the fact that you passed is obviously amazing in itself.
thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Always congratulations on there because I've seen the questions. I've taken classes. It is not just an easy thing. So
yeah, some of them are tricky. So,
definitely.
But we made it through. We made it through.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I was there. I was in college, and then I actually got my first 2 closings back to back. Probably almost 9 months after I got my license.
Okay.
I would say, yeah. And I actually went on vacation.
I mean, listen, live it up.
I went to Texas, and then I went to where did I go next? Oh, I actually got my mom a trip. I want to say that was her first Cancun trip that she went to.
Okay.
That I got for her because I was still living at home at the time because I was still in college and I was commuting back and forth.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, like the closings happened, then back to back, and then that money that you get from like real estate, especially as a college student, it's like
a rush, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not seeing that at a diner necessarily.
Yeah.
Like you're not. Right, that's awesome.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love the restaurant industry,
Yeah.
but once I saw the checks that I could make with real estate, I was like, okay, I might.
It's a different
I might need
environment.
to take this seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a different type. You're obviously working hard, like both ways for sure. But I mean, I've been there at the tables and everything like that. Like it's a different type of feel. Like a different, when you see that check that you get versus like seeing those big tips. Yeah, it's both equally exciting, but one's taking you to Cancun a little faster than the other.
Where did you go on? Where'd you work at?
Red Robin.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
for like 8 years.
Okay.
Like in the prom, I started off on Tillman Street, and then I went to the Promenade, and then I actually went and I was opening restaurants for Red Robin. So that was pretty exciting. Just a couple, but I was like, I think I was like 19 years old, staying in a hotel for like 4 or 5 months at a time, like opening restaurants, and it was really exciting. And
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely something to be proud of. I saw a different type of life there than I did when I was staying at home with mom and dad every night. But fun stuff you learn. I made a lot of great connections with people and. Yeah, did a lot of learning, a lot of growing up too. Like I was like,
for sure, especially at 19, you were doing all that too.
Yeah, the first time I was like, I flew out to Colorado by myself at 19. I was so scared, but I did it, and I wouldn't have had the opportunity if I didn't, work with Red Robin and everything like that. So I have absolutely so much respect for anybody who knows like the restaurant industry. Like puts a type of skin on you. You know what I mean? It makes you a thick skin because you have to put up with a lot. So.
Yeah, but I think it definitely teaches you about like instant adaptability. Because say if you're, what the phrase is, you're in the weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to adapt accordingly. Like say if 1 minute you're fine, you have a good flow to you. The next minute, both your tables get up. Say if you have a 4 or 5 table section, they all get up at the same time, and then of course you're all 4 or 5 of those, and you have to just adapt, see who needs what. Like you have to kind of coordinate within your mind internally to try to figure out what is the best route to go to handle those 4 or 5 people that you just got all at the same time. Like
and keeping your cool and not panicking.
Yeah, and then there's other factors like if they have kids or like if they're a little rowdy, like things like that. There's just certain things like you just have to adapt to accordingly to make sure everyone has a good experience.
Exactly, which kind of actually relates to real estate though, in like a way. Like you have to be able to like on the fly, especially at a closing. Like if you see something that does not go as smoothly as like you think it should or anything like that, like you need to make sure you're keeping your cool for your client's sake. You know what I mean? Like you're adapting and reading the room and you know, doing what you can. If you're panicking, there's no way you're gonna let that show. Just like I would have never let one of my tables know if I was like panicking or anything like that. That's when you quickly go back, take the couple breaths, and then go and like then you go greet them like nothing is happening. You know, so definitely does relate for sure. Yeah, I would definitely say that for me, I ask a lot of questions. So that's the one thing that I do ask a lot, whether it's sellers or buyers, right? Because for buyers, they may be new to this and maybe their first time, so they have a lot of questions, and then they don't know what they don't know. Yeah. So I actually ask like, hey, here are the questions that I usually get, like a decent amount. How do you guys feel about this? Like, what are your thoughts on that? So I kind of make sure I'm more so a guide. Like I guide them. I say, look, at the end of the day, it's your home, it's your money. I want you to feel confident in it. I want you to feel happy in it. Yeah. But ultimately, I'm here to guide you and give you all the information. And some of the information they may not like. It's the truth. They may not like it, but I'd rather them not like it and know about it than them to find out later and then end up hating me for it. Right, exactly. Like you said, like you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. And first-time home buyers, I know when I bought my house for the first time, I had my dad there with me. Yeah. I like did not know. I was 22 years old. I was scared like out of my mind, and I didn't know what I didn't know. Like I couldn't do it by myself, but I wanted to like be that big girl and everything like that. So yeah, you're right. Like you don't know what you don't know. So it's good that you like had the mindset to guide them and everything. That's awesome, because I feel like a lot of people don't have that. You know, sometimes people just go in there and their mind is to, okay, I just want to get this deal. I just want to, and that's in any like sales
position.
Yeah, exactly. Any sales position. So, not saying anything negative about anybody in particular, of course, but it's nice that you have that like authentic, like genuine demeanor that you want to help them and everything, that's important for people.
I'm very mellow. That's what my friends and family say. I'm just a very mellow guy, but like I said, I always want people to like have all the information they need. Like right now I'm working with a couple of people and I say, hey, like I just want to make sure that you are 100% certain with your decision. And don't get me wrong, we're looking at great places and things like that, but sometimes when someone feels like kind of like on the fence, like they're not like fully 100% there, I say, okay, like, are you sure? Because we can still look at other houses. Like there's no,
you're not
there's no shame
them.
There's no shame in that. Like it's better to look for another house that you like than to just have like kind of like a house that you're like, So I always tell my people, I was like, hey, let's look at houses that you see yourself living in, because if you don't see yourself living in them, then essentially why are we going? And that's the question I ask. And if they want to see it just to see it, like I'm open to it. I just want to better understand where their perspective of, because I won't know their perspective unless I ask. So
now, do you feel people are like nervous to tell you if they're not like feeling something? Like, do you think that people feel like you're going to take it like personally, like be offended? I feel like I would be. I remember when I was looking at houses, if I didn't like one, I was afraid to like say that I didn't like it, because I was like, I felt bad, like I was wasting like my agent's time,
So for me, not at all. Like that's for me, that's okay. That's good. Because some people say that the biggest purchase you're going to make is your house, which is true. People say that weddings are. From my experience, I've seen houses that are priced extremely high that I don't think any wedding can match.
Could top, So
are you going to spend, if you're going to spend $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 on the house, you should like it.
Right, yeah.
So tell me you don't like it, because then one, it speeds up the time, because if there's another house on the list that you want to see more, then we could spend more time in it at the next house versus a house that you don't like anyway.
Right.
So I think I know it's better for them to just say up front, like, hey, it's perfectly okay. Like, I have no issue with us ending this showing short.
Like, your feelings are not hurt.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. And it's, like, truthfully, it's not about me. It's about them.
Right.
Because, like I told you in the beginning, it's not my money. It's their money. They're living in it. I'm showing it. I'm more than happy to show homes. I love seeing homes. I've seen some beautiful homes. I've seen churches that were converted into residential homes. I've seen a lot of cool things. Yeah. So I enjoy just the touring when I see sellers' homes, and also when I tour with buyers. I enjoy that experience. But ultimately, they're the ones living in it, and that's what I'm here for.
I'm sure you've definitely seen a lot of unique things.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. It's wild.
Do you ever see those, like, it's like the crazy, like, Zillow, like, ones, like, I forget what it is, but it's, like, online. It's, like, these random, like, the most, like, obnoxious things, and it's, like, the Zillow listings, but it's, like, throughout the whole country and everything like that. And it's some of the ideas that people have, it's, like, oh, my goodness, it blows my mind. Like, if you can have a golf course in your basement, like, good for you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's, like, so, like, unique and everything like that. But I remember seeing it, and I'm like, I wish one day.
I've seen man caves. I've seen just family rooms, things like that. Like, I remember the one vividly. He had an eagle-themed basement man cave. It was awesome. It was one of the highlight photos of the listing. Yeah, it was in the basement. He had this eagle flag, like, right behind the couch. There were eagle. He had an eagle ring. He had an eagle, like, shot glasses. Like, everything was just the Philadelphia Eagles. Really. Yeah. And it was so cool, like, the things that people do. I don't think I've seen basements that were turned into, like, family rooms, like miniature golf courses, sometimes some even theater rooms, right? But sometimes, usually when it's finished, most of them, some people have basements. Some people have bedrooms in the basement, so that it's fully finished, converted, so it's, like, secluded away. For, say, guests or something like that. But I've seen a lot of cool houses.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely. I know I'm always online, just, like, clicking and looking, getting inspiration and everything like that. I'm in the process of looking for a house myself, so cool. I'm constantly just, like, looking, seeing what's out there, like, and then I'll make notes, like, oh my gosh, like, that's, like, really cool. Like, so, like, when I get my house, like, maybe I could, decorate it this way, or do, like, some renovations this way and stuff like that. So constantly looking, like you said. So I can only imagine the things that you see, like, in person versus what I'm seeing online.
And I think the cool thing about, like, what the generation that we're in right now is that you can literally look on, say, TikTok, especially YouTube University, I call it. You can figure out how to do things on your own and kind of figure out, like, the best route that you want to take. Like, okay, do I want to hire someone? Or, okay, this doesn't seem too bad. Let me figure this out myself. Yes. So I think that's, like, one of the benefits to the generation that we live in.
Yeah, like the knowledge is just out there. Yeah. Like, you just have to look for it.
And it's, like, easy access. Like, for me, when it comes to do it yourself, I'm usually on YouTube Shorts or TikTok, because usually they're quick. Yeah. Like, they're just instant, like, all right, how to do this.
Like, no fluff, just, like, get to the point so I can do it.
They're, like, 36-second repeat videos, so I could just watch through it multiple times. Okay, I see how they did it. All right, let's do this. Let's do it this way. So I think that this generation is, like, awesome.
I'm all about DIY, probably to a fault. Like, I'm really confident in myself, but I do have the backbone. I feel like if I mess something up, like, Daddy, come fix it. And, like, my dad will come, like, save the day and everything like that. So I do have that, like, reassurance, but 100%, like, I'm all about DIY. And in my mind, I'm, like, really creative and can really, like, make something out of nothing. I'm not saying that's actually how it turns out, but in my mind, that's how I feel. So, no, I agree. Like, I'm so excited, like, when I do find that, like, dream house that, like, I'm looking for and searching for, that I just want to customize it and make it my own. And
Well, you said you were creative, so my question is, what type of things do you plan on having in that house, creative
so I want to have, like, a magnificent, like, bookshelf, like, something cool. I want, like, a floor-to-ceiling bookshelf, and I want one of those, like, rolling ladders, and it doesn't have to be super big. Like,
what movie is that?
You know exactly. Yes, I literally, I don't know, just something like that, and I just envision it, like, and I can see it in my head, and it doesn't have to be big. Like, I don't think I'll be rolling on that ladder or anything like that. But like I'm getting like Beauty and the Beast vibes.
Yeah.
Like when Belle's in like I have a 1-year-old daughter, so I watch a lot of Disney movies. Yeah, I watch a lot of Disney movies right now.
Pixar, all those things. Yeah.
Exactly. So we've been watching a lot of her favorite's Frozen, but she does go back and forth between Frozen and Beauty and the Beast. Okay. So like I think that's probably why like the library is like coming up in my mind. But I don't know where I would fit it. I don't even have the house yet. But when I'm clicking and I'm looking at the pictures, I'm like, okay, maybe I could put something there, or just simple stuff. Like I don't know. Like I just am just crafty, and you know I like doing stuff, and I'm just want to make something like my own basically. So pretty much where my mind is now. We'll see. I'll keep you posted to show you how that library comes along when it does. When in reality, it's just an IKEA bookshelf. That's all I could put together. But no, something like that. But like you said, in our generation, it definitely does give people just the ability to try to make things, you know? Because, you know, I'm going to be on, like, YouTube and, like,
100%.
Looking at all these videos. Like, I don't even know how, like, I like to think I do. I think I could, I don't even know how to cut wood. Like, I don't know. I think I could figure it out, but.
You can figure it out. There's plenty of videos for that. I guarantee.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, figure something out. So we'll see. You know, maybe one day I have that bookshelf with my rolling ladder that I have enough books to fill it, so that's one thing. I do have a lot of books to fill it, so that'll work there. But so we'll see, maybe one day, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So now are you like local now, like, so you show houses like just in the Lehigh Valley area, or like do you travel? Like what's your like radius that you go?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So one of the things is I live in Allentown. So you know where the PP&L Center is? So I live like right across the street.
Okay.
There, okay. So I travel about an hour and a half out. So I go as far as Collegeville, Poconos area, Stroudsburg.
So you're all over. Reading. You definitely have like a
I have a wide range. Allentown, Easton, Bethlehem, Nazareth. Those are the backyard.
Yeah,
like, they're right there for me. So I learned that as I got older, like I used to think like an hour was long when I was younger. Now, especially being an agent, that's right there. That's
like
right
no big deal.
That's right there. Hour and a half is when things start getting like, it's like, oh, this is like kind of a drive.
Yeah,
but I like it because traveling, especially in the valley, things can be so different if you travel like even 30 minutes, right? Yeah. Like if you travel 30 minutes, you're in, say, Forks Township, which is more suburban part of Easton, right? Yeah. And then you could travel into the city of Bethlehem, and that's like anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. A totally different night and day. But then I travel 20 minutes in Allentown. I'm in a suburban part versus more of the city part where I live currently. Right. So I like to have a variety of places that I like to travel. I'm confident in the areas of Reading, Poconos, Allentown, Easton, Bethlehem, all those areas that I just said. So I like to just give my clients options, and there may be times where I may not know the area completely, so I can do one of two things, and I'm transparent with them. I said, hey, I can research it, which I do without telling them, or if I don't feel 100% aware of the area, I refer it out to some people that I trust, because if they're the expert up there, I want to at least know that my clients will be taken care of. Yeah. Because I'm not going to know everything. That's the truth. Right. I can research certain things all I want, but there's certain things that I just won't know. So I'll either connect or collaborate with someone, or I'll refer my clients to someone that I trust out there.
And I'm sure that gets you so much more respect, though. Yeah. Like that you are transparent and you are like being real with them, that like, you know, listen, I don't know 100%, and I want to give you the best knowledge out there. I would respect that for sure. So I'm sure a lot of people do.
Yeah, I tell people the honest truth. I say, look, I don't know. I can find out the answer. Give me a little bit of time, because I do need to take time to research and make sure it's correct. But if I can't find it, I'll ask someone who's aware of the question, most likely, usually like a broker or someone in the company or another company. Or two, I say, hey, look, I'm not 100% certain about this. I don't want to answer the question, because then I'd be lying to you, because I don't know. And that's the truth. So I refer it to someone else.
And do you feel that people respect that more? Like you've never had negative?
I've actually never had negative feedback on saying that I don't know the question, but I'll find the answer. Yeah. So I actually learned that from a mentor of mine way back when. Yeah. I
think that's like honestly like great advice though. Like I think that's like the best thing, to just be real, like you said, and just, you know, let them know. And I would respect that. So good for you to have that like motto. Because I don't think a lot of people would. Like, you know, a lot of times I feel like people, if they don't know something, they may seem that as like a weakness. Like they may feel like a weakness upon themselves when I don't think it is at all. I think it's, you know, a strength in acknowledging that you are not sure and that that you're not too good to like look for help or get assistance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Because there are even questions that I'm sure maybe you've answered multiple times, and then there's that one moment or one day where you just blank. Like I've answered this so many times, but I can't now remember the question. Yeah, I've even had situations like that. But I say, hey, I've had this question answered before, but I cannot remember off the top of my head. But as soon as I do, I will get back to you. And even that.
100%.
Sure, I've answered it before, but sometimes you just have those days where you just hit a blank. It's nothing crazy, and then it usually comes back to you at the weirdest of moments, or like maybe like a minute or 2 minutes later.
And you're like, wait, before. So as a processor, I think I processed here for like 2 years. I was a title processor here at First United, and that's it. Like it's a whole world that I was like learning, and I never obviously wanted to give the wrong answer, and I would have the same question that asked multiple times, but exactly. I would literally be like, you know what? I'm 99% sure I know, but let me double check and get back to you. I probably did that way too many times because I would rather double check myself than to give one person like the wrong information one time. Like that's not at all. Like I agree. Like I do that even still to this day. Do it so many times. Yeah,
but I think it's super important that you're aware of it.
Yeah.
That you will go back and double check, because that's one of the most important things that you could do, because you don't want to lead them astray, because sometimes the mistakes can be costly.
Yeah.
Really costly. So it's definitely better just to
just to get it all out there.
And I tell my clients, regardless of what side they're on, whether sellers, investors, buyers, what have you, people just asking questions, I say, look, ask me the same question 1,000 times, because the last thing I want is for you to make the wrong decision because you didn't ask. Because you can look up on Google things like that. They will give you... Sometimes they give you too many options or too many scenarios, but if you are direct with your question, and sometimes you just won't know, but then Google can definitely help you word the question more directly to me. But at the end of the day, ask me the question. Even if I've had people ask me the same question like 10, 20 times. Like I do Airbnb, I got people who ask me questions about that. I've been in real estate for 7 years, and some of the people that I know, they're starting to get their real estate license. And I tell them, just ask me. Because you don't know. And if you're not 100% confident, then... One, the fees that you get in trouble for in real estate, like I said, they add up.
Yeah.
Just ask the question.
Exactly.
There's no shame in that.
No, exactly. And when I'm learning something, even when I'm not, I will ask a question, like you said, 1,000,000 times until I understand it. I'm sure people who have trained me probably get frustrated, because I will ask it. If I don't understand it, like if I'm not confident, like I'm sorry, like can you re-explain it to me? Say it like a different way. There are so many times that I've said like, I just need you to dumb it down for me. Like just put it in like the simplest terms so I can just grasp something and go. I know I did that a lot when I was learning the job of processing, because it is a lot, you know, and it's a whole other element of real estate and everything like that. Like I bought a house, but I didn't understand. I don't even, when I bought my house when I was 22, I know I had title insurance. I guarantee you could have asked me when I was 22 what it was or if I had it, and I would have been like, I don't know. Like I never knew. So like now in where I am, it's a different just part, and like I do understand more, you know what I mean? So definitely ask 1,000,000 questions. And I think if there's anything that we could ever, that anybody takes from this, it's always ask questions. Because you're not going to hurt yourself. You're only going to better yourself, better your knowledge.
Yeah, so when I was in college, so I went to DeSales University and I went to LTRC first. So I went to 2 colleges. One of the answers that my professor had for my anatomy class when I was a nursing major at the time, he said, make sure you explain it to people in plain language. So we didn't really understand what that meant, but of course he explained it to us. He said, you want to explain it to the point where someone who has no idea of the industry or area that you're in can understand it. I was like, oh, okay, that makes total sense. So with both being in the title company like yourself, and then also me being in real estate as an agent, there's terminology that we understand to the most, how can I put this, complicated degree. Okay. But to someone just starting out, they won't know. And by someone starting out, I mean even a seller, because sometimes sellers don't know the certain terminology because things change.
Yeah, of course.
The average person usually buys a new house or sells their house within 7 years. Usually people stay in their house for 7 years. That's the average. So there's certain language that they may have forgot because it's been anywhere from about 7 years. So, I mean, I don't even know what I had like last month for dinner.
Right, exactly. Things are changing.
So I'm not going to remember that from 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? So I do my best, rather, to make sure that when I speak to someone, it's in a language that they can understand, and that someone, if they had to explain to someone that they don't know, like say their parent.
Yeah.
And if you are very close to your father, so if I were to tell you something, I would hope that I explained it to you to the point where, okay, you can tell your dad this is what he said and this is what it meant.
Like that you could relate as well. Yeah, that's really good. That's a good thought process to have for sure.
So that was what I was taught when I was at L-Tri-C, and that's what my anatomy professor taught. Yeah.
Crazy how something so like unrelatable, like I mean anatomy, you don't necessarily think that correlates to real estate at all, but is so effective, obviously, and such a good mindset to have. Like everything just comes together and everything happens for a reason. That's what I think, at least everything happens for a reason, and that's the perfect like mindset to have, I think, at least, because if somebody's explaining something to me, I want to be able to explain it back to my dad, exactly, because that's 100% who I would go to.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's a perfect like way to say it for sure. Just want to say thank you so much for coming in and sitting and chatting with me today. And I can't wait to see where the next 7 years of real estate get you. And we will be glad to have you back for another podcast in the future.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Yeah, no problem. All right, everybody. Well, that was another episode of Beyond the Closing, and we'll see you soon.